okay, we should be good to go. Just give me some chat, let me know that you can hear me, because this is all new. And I did test it last night with one of my readers. It was very nice and set this all up for me, and we did a few test runs to see if it all worked, and I believe it does. But yeah, just send me some messages and tell me if we're good. Sounds fine? Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. Alright, I'll just do a little Twitter thing to let people know that we're actually on. Oops. Alright, cool, we're good. So, yes, it is me. Glad to have you all here. Now, as I posted in the last post that I did, shut the door there. The cat just went out. I'm trying to get the cat on the stream, but she is a bit antisocial, so she might not see her. As I posted on the last stream, the whole point of this is to cover K-pop news if I can, to some sort of degree, and also just have a chat to you guys and have some fun. So we'll see how we go with that. Mind you, it's really hard to cover K-pop news because there's just so little stuff that happens that I give any shit about whatsoever. Doing this stream might actually give you a good idea about why I don't do this. So, because I can barely think up stuff to say about any of this stuff, which is why I don't cover it. I even made a little list for myself about things that were even sort of vaguely interesting. So I'll talk about those for a bit. 1 minute of silence for Namjoon's face. You know, the thing about Namjoon's face, which is really interesting, is honestly, I don't think it has changed that much. Seriously, if you have a look, I'll just bring up the Asian Junkie post, because that's got the before and the after picture, right? And I'll just do this so you can actually see what I'm looking at. Oop. What am I doing? I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Just put that somewhere down here. And alright, so sorry about the image quality, by the way. I'm Australian, this is an Australian stream, and internet here is shit. I mean, I've got relatively good internet for someone who lives where I do. I have cable internet, but it's still not very good, so I can't give you high def and stuff like that, which I'm sure nobody cares when they're looking at me, but when it comes to looking at stuff like this, it's probably a bit inconvenient. But anyway, we'll do our best. So the top picture here is Namjoon, probably from some promotional thing, I don't know, whenever the fuck that was taken, and this is her nose surgery picture or whatever, and I don't know, they're not that different. I mean, she's making a bit of a funny face in the second one, so that she looks a bit pinched. But if she made the same face in the top photo, I reckon she'd look very similar. Obviously, there's a bit of shop going on, a bit of Photoshop going on in the first one too, especially with around the eyes. I'm not saying she hasn't had plastic surgery. I'm saying that she probably has had it quite a lot earlier than what you think. And, you know, once you add the Photoshop on the TV or camera lighting and so forth, it makes a big difference. People don't realise how powerful that stuff is. I've worked on TV sets where they do TV makeup, and they really makes a huge difference. It's not something that's really well acknowledged. But yeah, it's not that different, really. Also, the hair makes a big difference. She's got this big forehead going on in the bottom picture, which isn't in the top picture because the hairstyle's different. So yeah, I don't know. She may. I'm almost certain she'd have had work done because almost everybody has, but probably wasn't recent. I don't reckon. I don't think it's that different. So I just think it's a big load of fuss about not much. I mean, also the other thing you got to keep in mind, of course, is that the top one is a promotional image and the bottom one is like, I don't know, paparazzi. Like someone like me snapping a photo of someone on stage. So it's not from the ideal angle and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. So that's that. Yeah, I'll just make things normal again. There we go. That's just about as big as I need to be. Um, so yeah, not a big deal. Not something that I would consider making a post about. Unlike Asian Junkie, who um, made a post about it, but I don't know. He didn't really have much to say either, though, did he? Um, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about it. So that's that, and that's probably what else is there. Everything else is really stupid this week. It's stupid stuff. Not that it ever isn't. There's so much of what is considered news in K-pop's just stupid. Um, like, what do we have? We had Oh My Girl being offending people with allergies. That's interesting. I have an allergy. I wasn't offended by Oh My Girl. So, I don't know. Was anyone really? People just, they like to get upset about stuff. It doesn't really matter. And what was the other one? Apparently, it was the concept was Lolita or something, which is pretty bizarre. I don't ever recall monkeys being a popular theme in any Lolita stuff that I'm aware of. So I mean, you can't even write about that sort of stuff. It's just too inconsequential. And someone sent me a question saying that Twice and their new song was accused of, what was it? I have to find it on Mask FM. Yeah, false LGBT portrayal, which is pretty interesting. So, I don't know how that's supposed to work. And I mean, who knows? Maybe they are LGBT. How do you know? I think the ratio of straight to anything else of any type is sort of like 8 to 1. So, if you've got a 9-member group, then the chances of you having at least one person in there who isn't straight is pretty good. So, could be for real. Don't know. So yeah, I asked them for a source on that one, and I never got one. So I don't know. And that's it. The only other thing that's really happening is Nilo, which is really interesting. Don't know if you're aware of the guy called Nilo who released a song last year, and it's just suddenly blown up really big, and everyone's accusing him of, chart manipulation, like someone who is that small is able to even do that. And it's really upsetting all the K-pop fandoms because they're getting all beaten out for the number one spot by this person nobody's ever heard of. It's a bit like the Busker situation a few years back, where BAP and EXO fans are really upset about Busker, beating them out. So it's the same sort of thing going on. And yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, the Nyla song's shit, it's terrible. It's just the typical Korean ballad that, that Korea loves, and that, it's just so bland. But, I kind of I kind of like the effect it's having. So that's good, and it's, yeah, pretty amazing really. What, just reading the question, what do you think about the Hyungdon Defcon Syria Somalia comments on the last episode of Weekly Idol? It seems to be only international fans who seem to have an issue with it, as I've seen people on Twitter call them racist to boot, which is even more silly. Yeah, I vaguely remember that when Asian Junkie wrote about it. I can't even remember exactly what they said. I mean, I guess they're just having a joke. I mean, is it something that you should joke about or not? I don't know. It didn't bother me. Didn't see any Syrians complain, but with those sort of things, there always seems to be someone who comes in and says, "Look, I'm from Syria and I've had no problem with it." So, cheers to my reader from Syria, by the way, who did my survey. Hopefully you're watching and you didn't get hit by a bomb yesterday. Pretty scary stuff. But yeah, I don't know. They made a joke, and I mean, the jokes on Weekly Idol are generally pretty shit anyway. But I mean, are you really going to be offended by what some comedian said? Basically, what says the group said they're going on a world tour almost every country. And then the host said, every country, really. I don't think I'll be going to Syria where the bombs are dropping, or Somalia with the pirates, basically. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, it's not that offensive, really. I mean, you could say, oh, it's stereotypical or whatever, but I mean, there are bombs dropping in Syria, and there are pirates in Somalia, or whatever. It's just a fact. And I mean, if you are a Somalian pirate, you might not consider yourself a pirate, perhaps, but if you are a Somalian pirate, you're probably not watching Weekly Idol. So yeah, I don't know, I just looked at that and I was like, oh yeah, whatever. People complaining because they want to complain about stuff. I don't know. People obviously don't have problems. So yeah, it's not, I don't know, I thought, it's not like he said that, all Somalians were terrible people or anything like that. It's not that offensive. I mean, that's an obvious observation that you'd see on the news, that there's pirates in Somalia. Are you offended by the news? I don't know, maybe you are. So yeah, I wasn't too excited about that. Another thing not worth writing about. Certainly not within my circle of concern what people say, like jokes on some show or whatever. K-pop fans get very carried away about jokes, and they don't seem to like it when people joke about various things for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't know, people are very easily upset, as I've found out a lot. Especially, are you anticipating the debut of 12-member Luna? Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I don't really. I'm kind of in the habit of not looking forward to stuff. When stuff's happening, then I'll get excited. So like Twice's new song or whatever, or whoever, when they say, oh, it's going to happen next week, I don't care. When it comes out, then I care. Until then, I don't care. And the reason why is because, half the time it's a disappointment, whatever it happens to be. So, or more than half the time, most songs in K-pop I don't like, just like most songs out of any genre. And that's not to say K-pop's bad. It's just that, it's hard to write good songs. It's a difficult thing to do. And I don't really. Yeah, so Luna, I mean, yeah, I'm probably looking forward to the video, I guess. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's all been solo stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how they portray themselves as a 12-member group, I suppose. But then I'm sure it won't be that different to anything else. I mean, it'll be a good production, I'm sure. Because all the Luna stuff's been really, really good productions, whether I've liked the songs or not. So I'm sure that when the 12-member thing comes out, it'll be it'll be, they'll be going all out to make it really amazing looking. But whether I like the song or not, I mean, who knows? I won't know until it happens. I mean, so we'll just wait and see. And if it's good, then great. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the best song. Maybe it'll be Song of the Year. But I don't know that. No one does until it comes out. Except the people who are just crazy stans who just love them anyway and will love anything they do and will just automatically love it because it's the whole group and they've been building up to it for 2 years. I mean, it's a great marketing strategy. Can't deny that. So, they've got all these fans that don't even have a song yet as a group. So, it's smart. It's smart like BTS's marketing. It's very similar, I think. With the full engagement of social networking and so forth. Very clever. So, and that's why they got so many fans, because and also BlackBerry's been in the business for a while. Even though they're a new company, they're really not. So, they know what they're doing marketing wise. But there's also a strong luck element as well, and you never know what's going to take off with the public. And that's all stuff that will remain to be seen. So, so that's Luna for you. Turpag says oi to you as well. I'm not sure what your point is. Just be aware that there's a bit of a delay with the chat. There's a way to look up the amount of delay. I can't remember what it is. I think it's usually running at about 10 seconds. So, there you go. 12 minutes reading your comments. 12 men will start the revolution not wearing safety shorts. I feel like you're mentioning Luna is a girl group. BTS could also apply to any fan base of a musical group with similar acclaim. Yeah, probably could. I mean, they all have, all the big ones have similar marketing now. So, I mean, there's a template for marketing these groups, which is fairly strictly adhered to. So yeah, I agree. Very recently, Hon Jin Young got attention for being rude to her managers or something like that. Counting my points for her. Yeah, I very quickly looked at the article on Netizen Buzz just before I came in here. For those of you who haven't seen it, Netizen Buzz has an article which I'm just going to pop up on the screen here. And I was just looking at this before. Yeah, Hon Jin Young criticised her selfish attitude towards her staff. And yeah, a bunch of stupid comments. Saying that she's treating them like slaves. I don't fucking know. It's in Korean. There's no subtitles, so I got no idea whether she's being a bitch or not. Don't really give a fuck, to be honest. It's not like I got to hang out with her. I mean, sure, some famous people aren't that pleasant to deal with. But also, the thing is, she's doing a thing with the cameras rolling, so there's probably a bit of piss-taking going on. And once again, I think it's probably a situation where people are just not reading the humour in the situation as much as they should be. Everyone takes things very seriously. I mean, there's all this jokey content that happens in Korean pop with the TV shows and stuff like that, but the audience that watches it are such serious people, and they don't deserve to have jokes. Because I don't seem to understand them. I don't seem to have any sense of humour about them. I mean, the whole tiara thing with the rice cakes was a joke for a TV show. And, there's hundreds of different examples you could point to. So, yeah, doesn't change my opinion of Hon Jin Young. I don't really give a shit. Maybe, maybe his staff are really annoying, and maybe it's a good way. Maybe when the cameras are off, the staff are all the ones who are bossing her around, and so when the cameras are rolling and they're doing stuff like that, she can sort of get a bit of revenge. Who knows? I mean, you don't know what's really going on. Do you think we'll ever have another decent trot-esque group like Orange Caramel anytime soon? I thought Hint might be a group that would do that. Because they had that song called Tang Tang Tang, which I'll just bring up in the channel feed for you. If you're not familiar with it, although it did get on one of my lists as well. I'll just pop it down here. And the channel feed's below, just for those who are new to Twitch, it's just below. If you just scroll down a bit, you'll see it. And that song was apparently written by the same people who did Magic Girl by Orange Caramel, which is a great song. And you can kind of tell it's very similar in some ways. So I was hoping it would be them, but then that same group came out with another song really recently, and it wasn't like that at all. It was, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't very good. I can't even remember if I've reviewed it or not yet. Might have been in the roundup last week. It came out fairly recently, and yeah, it was nothing special. Twice fans used to be really obnoxious in 2016, but they've calmed down. They've gotten a couple of years older, that's why. I've noticed the Luna threads on Reddit tend to have substantially more fandom Twitter type comments on them, like Wig Shook type stuff. Yeah, I've noticed that too. And Luna fans, they've engaged with me quite a lot as well, both the crazy ones and the more normal ones. Part of it's been positive engagement because the song from Eve's called New got on that was my favourite song from last year. I thought that was an excellent song, so a bunch of Luna fans all love me about that. And then they found out that I put that girl Cherry in my boobs post, and then they all got pissed off at me. And completely, of course, missing the point of why I put her in the post in the first place, which wasn't to perv at her, but which was to point out the fact that Blockberry are sexualizing her wildly. And of course, the Luna fans don't want to admit that it's happening at all, because, you know, they love Blockberry just like they love Luna. So they're totally in denial. But it's fairly obvious. I mean, if you're not a K-pop fan, if you don't give a shit about K-pop, and you look at Love Cherry Motion, I mean, just a name, Jesus Christ. I got something on the mouth. Alright. Yeah, if people realise the K-pop industry is manufactured as fuck, then shouldn't they also realise that anything that shows up on a TV show after editing means that the group or company thinks it's completely fine, and there's nothing wrong with it? If anything actually bad happened or rude behaviour, it would have been gotten rid of. It's a very good point. Anyways, editors clearly underestimated the levels of autism in Korea, not being able to anticipate the historical ignorance shit blowing up. Yeah. I don't know. People get carried away over the littlest details, because people are so into it and they're so emotionally invested in these idols and all this stuff which doesn't matter, which is something which is encouraged by the labels. And then, you know, whenever something happens that doesn't sort of fit the picture perfect thing, then it gets blown out of all proportion. In a sense, that's actually the labels kind of reaping what they sow. If you're going to have a complete Pied Piper fandom, then, and you just kind of try and dull their thinking ability so they just get fascinated about your group or whatever, then, you know, they're going to behave like morons. So, because the system is set up to not encourage critical thinking, and that's a double-edged sword. Will the Mamamoo fandom calm down anytime soon? Haven't heard from the Mamamoo fandom for a while. There was just a few people on Twitter who were just having the shits about me, because I posted about them to say, you know, that their song, just doing on my plagiarism posts, which I really don't like doing those posts, but I do them because I always get asked about that stuff now. So, just did a plagiarism post about Mamamoo, my second one about Mamamoo. The first one made no waves at all, but the second one did, because I was quite honest about the fact that I think that their songs are mostly crap. And while at the same time saying, oh, you know, I think the girl's attractive, and, you know, I don't think they plagiarise the song. So I was kind of sticking up for them while also giving my musical opinion. And they just were like, well, you hate the song, so we hate you. And by the way, you're a white, you know, middle-aged man, so therefore you're evil, in the evil of this earth, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, and calling me cracker and all this sort of stuff. It's just silliness. But yeah, they haven't been quiet for a while. Maybe they'll come back at me. I mean, hopefully, look, I mean, hopefully, maybe we put out a good song. You know, I'd like that, honestly. I mean, I would like every Korean pop group to always put out nothing but good songs all the time. That'd be awesome. That's be fantastic. Or songs I like, rather. So hopefully that happens to Momo. It's happened before because I like Piano Man. I thought that was good, and you know, it's not my fault that I haven't liked any songs they've done in 4 years. You know, talk to their agency about it. Maybe they can do a song they'll mean to. But then if that happens, then maybe they'll like me again. Just reading the scroll back. Yeah, variety shows are scripted. Yeah, no kidding. It's amazing how people don't know this. Yeah, they've caught on to lip sync use, but they still think variety shows are real. Yeah, and you know, I was young and dumb, you know, and so they're gonna do young dumb shit. They're gonna say the wrong thing, and it's, you know, God, I can only imagine me if I was 17 years old doing a stream. Imagine all the fucking ignorant shit I would be saying. Man, I'd be bad. You know, yeah, and especially when you're in that sort of idle environment, they spend all day practicing. You know, it's not like they're sitting there reading books for years. You know, they don't have time to educate themselves on fucking history and shit. I mean, where are your feelings on Yeah Yeah? I've been digging the instrumental. Yeah, actually, I agree the instrumental was better without the vocals. Um, yeah, if I was racist, I don't think I'd be into K-pop if I was a racist. Wouldn't I be into, I don't know, other stuff, not K-pop. um, so anyway, the plan for these streams is to do half an hour streams, and the reason why is because I don't want to get sick of doing these streams. I'd like to do one a week, if I can, right, or one a fortnight. So I'm going to call it quits on the stream now, which I don't think is what Twitch like. I think they like long streams, so I'm probably never going to unlock all the features of Twitch because I won't be streaming for very long at a time. But so be it. I think it'll keep the streams interesting to keep them short. So that's it for me. Thanks for listening and watching, and I will be back. I'll probably do another one next week. Feel free to drop me some comments via whatever method you choose about whether you'd like them to be earlier or later in the day. I mean, no matter when I do it during the day, it's going to fuck around somebody in some particular time zone because the audience is global. And there's people, you know, from all around the world watching. So, but I also have to do it at a time that suits me as well, and that may vary depending on things. So, yeah, so drop me some comments about stream, whether you thought it was a good thing or a bad thing, whether you'd like more streams or longer time, less time, different times of the day, and also if you'd like me to cover anything in particular. I don't mind if you drop it into AskFM or Twitter and say, you know, can you please talk about X if you're not going to do an article. You know, if I'm going to do an article about it, I won't talk about it here, or I'll try not to. I'll just save my opinion or whatever for the article, and try and do something satirical and interesting. But, you know, I'll talk about pretty much whatever you guys want. It doesn't have to be K-pop news, it can be anything at all. And, you know, I didn't get the guitars out, but I've got them here. And so I can do musical stuff as well if you guys want to know about musical things. What I don't have is home studio stuff here. All I've got is this very fancy ass microphone. and so I can't really do that. Can't really show you that kind of thing. Um, so, but yeah, any other stuff is cool. Really, there's nothing you can't ask really. So anyway, thanks a lot. No pop filter. Yeah, no pop filter on the mic. Look, I'm that far away from it. I don't think it matters. I mean, pop filters are for when you do the P. For those who don't understand what's being spoken about here, a pop filter is there's two types of pop filter. There's like the shield one that is in front of your mic like that, and there's also sometimes you see mics with a bit of a fuzzy cover, like a little bit of felt that sits on top of the mic, and that's so when you say the letter P, the p doesn't sort of make a ugly sounding bass heavy effect, sort of like this. It sounds pretty ugly. So that can be a concern when you're recording vocals, but in this particular case, I don't really give a fuck. I'm fairly far away from the microphone, and yeah, it's an ugly sound, isn't it? It's not a nice sound. So, don't really need it. If I had a louder voice, or if I was singing into the microphone or something like that, then yeah, it might be an issue, but it's not really an issue. I mean, I sound alright, presumably. I was told by 420 Blazer, who was a wonderful person who did the testing for me. He said that the voice sounded good, so it should sound fine, even though it's only 128k BPS. But that doesn't matter, it's only talking. It's not like we're playing songs. I mean, you can play your own songs. Anyway, thank you all. Yeah, I could turn it up a bit. Let's see. Actually, I've got the microphone cranked on. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. Some you like the volume, some you don't. Maybe just turn it up at your end. So anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. I'll do this again next week. I'll post it on Twitter, and roundups tomorrow. So I'm going to go and prepare that now. And yeah, thank you all very much. And I'm out of here. No cat content this week. Sorry. Maybe next time.